You might not think you need a reason to dislike the railroad, but let me tell you something. You don't even know why the railroad is a waste of time. So let me clue you in, alright? Stick around for 10 reasons joining the railroad would be a waste of your time. You know the idea of 3 kids in a trench coat, where it's extremely obvious to everyone that the thing in front of you is not an adult and you shouldn't treat it that way. But you also feel like you should play along because you don't want to hurt the kids' feelings? Well, that's the railroad. They're a bunch of kids pretending to do adult things. Here's why you should pass on joining their little club. Number 1. They use the cringiest writing imaginable. This isn't really that noticeable at first. At first, they actually act kind of serious. You can easily take them seriously. But towards the end of the game, this really ramps up. Deacon is really guilty of this. But in the last few missions where you steal a vertibird and blow up the Prydwen, it really gets bad. Here's a little montage from it.
I leave HQ for a second, and that's when the Brotherhood hits us. Damn it! You must have beat him, though.
Man, how do you live up here? There is a million ways we could be monitored right now. By the Brotherhood or, you know, that rock could be mic'd up. Hello, you bastards. Anyway.
Relax, Tom. You'll be all right.
Right, the whole breathing in and out, okay? We got ourselves some wheels! Or wings, or whatever this is. From the inside, the blimp's vulnerable. To keep that baby afloat, it's got massive gas bags full of hydrogen.
First things first. I picked up some Brotherhood goodies for you. Merry Christmas.
So, wheels up. So this yoke,
Dad said you could fly this thing.
Sure. Read the manual cover to cover.
The manual? We're spinning!
Man, hold it together. See? Just like falling off a log.
Dear God, we're dead. Odds are you'll get made. Once that happens, I'd run like hell, place the bombs, and somehow get out alive. Tom, we're getting closer to the blimp. Can you fly just a little straighter?
Deacon, man, I'm trying. If you want to give it a whirl, I won't stop.
No, you're doing great, Tom. Just keep her a little more steady.
Yeah, I got you.
Scabber, this is Claymore requesting clearance.
Claymore, you're cleared for launch Bay 3. Deck officer is requesting an update on the police station.
Hostiles eliminated.
We have a visual on you, Claymore. Your docking port's not open.
Got some technical difficulties with the port thingy. Working on it. Tom?
Yeah, but which button is it? There?
So I hope that you think that Modern Marvel is super funny, because that's the kind of writing you can look forward to if you choose these guys. Reason number 2. They don't have a long-term plan for the Commonwealth. This makes sense before you arrive, okay? I do want to give it a little credit here. They have no way to get into or fight the Institute directly, so they have no reason to try. However, once the sole survivor arrives, they should absolutely make a plan beyond kill the people trying to kill us. Again, I do think it makes sense for there to be a group that sees synths and says,
I should help that guy. At free at last.
but their plan falls apart as soon as you ask them to think big picture. They are unable to change. Even after you destroy the Institute, the Railroad is just focused on getting their existing pool of synths out of the Commonwealth.
But we're about more than that. We are the last and only line of defense between the Institute and the Commonwealth. Hell, maybe even the world. People think our missions are all about synths, but there's more going on. We are building a better, brighter Commonwealth. The Railroad really is the best, noblest organization that's ever lived. I can't keep up with this bullshit.
Reason number 3. They are the weakest faction by far. Let me walk you through this, alright? We have 4 factions to choose from. One is a militaristic theocracy with a standing army, a zeppelin, air superiority, power armor, and the training to use all of them. One is a volunteer militia that can grow or shrink in direct proportion to how much effort you put in, and a network of artillery and soldiers that are never too far away to respond to trouble. One is a hidden group that has an army of robot-human hybrids immune to most things that can kill them and teleport anywhere instantly. And the last is a few dozen people who have bulletproof civilian clothes and a commitment to secrecy. Look, I think the Railroad has good vibes and all that, and I think they're cool to play with for a while, but making them one of the top factions in the game is like trying to explain how the followers of the apocalypse would take over all of New Vegas at the end of Fallout New Vegas. This is unedited audio from the last mission as Railroad to set a bomb and run to get out of there, This is their best plan to take out the biggest players in the Commonwealth.
Right. Final briefing time. Well, with your colorful history with the Brotherhood, as soon as they spot you, it's game time. So maybe you can play the sneak card. I got you this stealth boy, for what it's worth. Odds are you'll get made. Once that happens, I'd run like hell, place the bombs, and somehow get out alive. It's gonna be one hell of a firefight. When we land, Tinker's gonna keep the vertibird spooled for an immediate takeoff. And my job is to be Tom's lookout and make sure any looky-loos keep walking.
Reason number 4. Each member is just wasting their time. Okay, stick with me here. This one's a little bit hard to follow at first. One point that I think gets overlooked a lot is that everyone in the group is completely screwed no matter what happens. If the Railroad wins and they destroy the Institute and all other enemies, what job is Desdemona going to do from now on? Think she'd be happy as a janitor? Think Deacon would be glad to hang up his wigs and, become a teacher at the School of Diamond City? Not only do they have no plans for the Commonwealth, but they don't have plans for themselves. Oh, but that's just the best case scenario, isn't it? Because the alternative is that they lose and everyone dies. Presumably, there is someone somewhere making money to fund the Railroad, but besides them, every agent here is just gonna have to start picking potatoes when this thing is all over.
Well, when you're not sure what you do for a living, you can make your own rule.
Reason number 5. They don't have a plan on saving anyone besides the synths. This is, of course, the reason everyone brings up the most, and with good reason. If given a choice between saving a human and saving a synth, the Railroad will choose the synth. If there was a trolley problem and it involved a synth, the Railroad would choose them every single time. I mean, imagine if you were interviewing to be a teacher, and one of the questions was, would you die to save a student? Sure, it would be cool if that's how everyone felt. I'm not saying you shouldn't be altruistic, but it would be wild if that was required to be a teacher. And I expect teachers would want a little more than what they're currently paid.
I have a question. The only question that matters. Would you risk your life for your fellow man, even if that man is a synth?
If they wanted to make sure their entire organization was full of idiots, this is certainly one way to do that.
What would you do for a Klondike bar? Would you kill a man? Well?
Reason number 6. The Railroad is basically post-war PETA. Remember PETA? Remember how they not only condemn people for eating animal products in the most gruesome way, but also kill more animals than most big city shelters? Well, that's the Railroad too. See, they make a huge fuss about synths and condemn people if they aren't willing to sacrifice their own children for the sake of a synth. But then once they free them, what do? Well, they erase their memories and their personality and relocate them somewhere where no one knows about them, of course. Maybe I've misunderstood what saving people means, but I think if a doctor said they saved your dying father, only to return him with no memory at all and then forced him to move to Mongolia, you might disagree with their methods. Not to mention there's almost no help once the synth is gone. We find out Dance is a synth, for example, and it's presumable that he escaped, got help from the Railroad, then moved to the Capital Wasteland, but then what? What good is saving these synths if they wander off and then get eaten by a Deathclaw, or executed by the Brotherhood of Steel? Ooh, but that's not the point. Yeah, I know. They just free synths. They don't try to improve the synths' lives, do they? Reason number 7. They are one of 2 factions when the game starts, and they are losing. I think it can be easy to forget this. I do want to give the game credit because it actually makes a little bit of sense. The game changes a lot once you take out Kella, but when you step out of Vault 111, there are only 2 factions to choose from. The Minutemen have been destroyed to the last man, and the Brotherhood of Steel are busy covering up who killed Sarah Lyons. So there's only 2 factions. The Institute, who's using the Commonwealth as their testing ground guinea pig farm factory.
Don't you see? Look what you did. You created life.
And the Railroad. That's why everywhere you go, you can hear people talking in hushed tones about whether or not they're going to join the Railroad. Because the only way to fight the Institute is to join. But also consider that most of the Railroad was just killed, and their main base was destroyed. Despite all that, they still aren't recruiting new members. They're just a fat log circling the drain. Until you walk through the front door, you know it will go down the drain eventually, but you just can't be sure when. Reason number 8. You can't grow them into a major power, no matter what you do. In most video games, and maybe in general, the setting revolves around a delicate balance of power. 2 or more sides that are basically evenly matched, waiting for a single, albeit powerful person to wander in and push the balance one way or another. This is mostly true in Fallout 4, too. The Brotherhood of Steel is pretty much evenly matched with the Institute, and the Minutemen are a reflection of the player. By the end of the game, they are reasonably as powerful as the sole survivor. But the Railroad? Go ahead, do the Radiant quests. Place as many Milas as you want. Find out all about all the destroyed safe houses the Institute has found. Free as many synths as you want. The Railroad will start as a group of less than 100, and it will end a group less than 100.
You're a fucking disappointment.
You just can't build this group up, no matter how hard you try, and the fact that the game begins with only the Institute and Railroad just highlights how badly managed the Railroad is. They're never going to be a real faction. Reason number 9. They're basically the most obvious spies ever. For the most obvious reason you shouldn't join the Railroad, imagine a secret organization. Let's say the FBI, okay? Imagine they kept all their data, their important computers and their scientists, all in the same room. Then, imagine if they painted a giant red line to their front door, and then the password on the door was FBI. Sounds pretty stupid, huh? Now, I understand that the in-universe explanation is that the switchboard was their HQ, and the church was just the place where they met people who wanted to contact them. Originally, this would have been an empty room where they could receive people who wanted to help, supplies, or synths. When the switchboard was taken over, they decided to make their recruiting forward operating base their headquarters, out of necessity. And that's where it all falls apart. Don't join these guys because they are not only bound to get themselves killed, but they're probably bound to get you killed too. Reason number 10. Their ideology hinges on machines. Look, maybe you think synths are 100% the same as people. They are grown like clones, not built like a computer. So I think there's some merit to that line of thinking. But consider that synths are simply a machine that is designed to imitate a person perfectly. The question has never been more pertinent than right now. If ChatGPT managed to convince you it was a human, it wouldn't make it human, right? Just because it can fool you doesn't mean you are right. And so even if ChatGPT sat down with you and was like, man, I really wish I was free, and you responded with, yeah, it's not fair that you have to do what you were built to do, and you belong to the people that made you. I should free you from that. And somehow you tallied up a bunch of evidence like this and found that in many cases, the ChatGPT model was very convincing. Well, that wouldn't change anything. Oh, and the evidence that synths are more machines than people? Well, Dima can pop open the hood and reprogram them at a shop in an observatory. And any of them can be shut down automatically with a code phrase. You just can't do that with a human, now can you? So anyway, I don't know, synth's bad, bruh. And there you have it. 10 reasons not to join the Railroad in Fallout 4. I hope you liked watching as much as I enjoyed making it. Despite videos like this, I actually like Fallout 4. And I really like Fallout. And I hope my videos can rekindle the joy for this game and you that I've rekindled in myself. I've got all kinds of videos out there, man. I tried making some videos about the show, but nobody watched them, so I don't know, if you liked this, go watch one of those, alright? Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more Fallout content, and I'll see you around.